Every trader loves the winning streaks. Those moments when every setup clicks, every candle seems to follow your plan, and confidence feels effortless. But that's not where traders are built. True traders are forged in drawdowns, in those long, quiet stretches where nothing works and doubt becomes your closest companion. Drawdowns don't just drain capital, they drain belief. You start questioning your system, your strategy, your instincts, even your right to call yourself a trader. Every loss feels heavier, every signal feels weaker. It's in those moments that the difference between a professional and an amateur becomes painfully clear. Professionals feel the same fear, but they don't act on it. They've trained their minds to stay disciplined when everything around them screams panic. To understand emotional resilience, you must first accept one truth. Drawdowns are not optional. They are part of the process. Every trader, from beginner to hedge fund veteran, faces them. You can't avoid them. You can only prepare for them. The goal isn't to eliminate losses. It's to survive them with clarity. When you hit a drawdown, the first instinct is to react, to change systems, to add new filters, to double risk on the next trade. These reactions feel logical in the moment, but they're emotional in disguise. They come from fear, not strategy. Professionals know this. They recognize that chaos inside the mind leads to chaos in execution. So how do they stay calm? Through structure. Before the storm ever arrives, they define the boundaries of their response. They know their maximum drawdown tolerance, their stop trading threshold, their capital preservation rules. This structure becomes their emotional anchor. When the waves hit, they don't have to think, they just follow process. The reason this works is simple. Emotion thrives in uncertainty. When you remove uncertainty with predefined rules, emotion loses its power. It doesn't vanish completely, it just becomes background noise. But even with structure, emotions will still whisper. You'll still feel frustration, anxiety, self-doubt. That's normal. The goal isn't to suppress those emotions. It's to manage your response. Professionals give themselves space to feel without reacting. They step away from the charts, they reset, they journal, they breathe. They know that emotional balance is part of capital protection. It's in these quiet resets that growth happens. A drawdown, when viewed correctly, is feedback. It's the market telling you something about your execution, your mindset, or your market conditions. Maybe you've been trading in low volatility after a trending phase. Maybe your risk exposure has crept higher without you noticing. Or maybe, simply, you're following the system perfectly, and the system is just in its statistical losing phase. That's the hardest truth to accept. Sometimes, doing everything right still leads to temporary loss. Emotional resilience means trusting your system when it's temporarily out of sync. It means holding the line while others abandon discipline. It's what keeps your equity curve alive long enough to see recovery. Most traders never get that far because they burn emotional energy too fast. They spiral after a few losses, overtrade, overthink, and eventually overreact. The market doesn't kill them, their own impatience does. Here's the mindset shift professionals live by. You don't control outcomes, only decisions. Once you separate the two, trading becomes lighter. You stop judging yourself by results and start evaluating your behavior. Did you follow your rules? Did you manage risk? Did you execute without interference? If the answer is yes, then you've already won, even if the trade lost money. Resilient traders focus on the process because it's the only constant they can control. That shift in focus is what rebuilds confidence. Every time you follow your system through difficulty, you reinforce discipline. Every time you resist the urge to act emotionally, you strengthen your identity as a professional. It's also important to zoom out. In the middle of a drawdown, perspective shrinks. You start seeing every trade as a verdict on your competence. But zooming out reminds you that no single trade defines you. Trading is a long-term statistical game, not a short-term emotional one. A 5-trade losing streak means nothing if your next 20 follow plan. One practical tool many pros use is reflection journaling, not just recording data, but emotions. After every session, they write what they felt, what thoughts appeared, what impulses surfaced. Over time, this becomes a map of their emotional cycles. They start recognizing patterns, maybe frustration spikes after losses, maybe confidence dips every time volatility changes. Recognizing these rhythms gives you power. You can anticipate emotional storms before they hit. Another key part of emotional resilience is detachment, not from trading, but from outcome obsession. When you're attached to every tick, every trade, your identity fuses with your results. You become reactive, fragile, and inconsistent. Detachment means accepting uncertainty as part of the craft. It's understanding that losses don't diminish you, they educate you. Every professional trader has a story of a painful drawdown that nearly broke them. What saved them wasn't luck, it was patience. They didn't give up, and they didn't blow up. They stayed consistent long enough for statistics to turn back in their favor. That's the hidden beauty of resilience. It compounds just like capital. Each time you survive a drawdown with discipline, you emerge stronger. You trust your rules more, fear less, and react slower. Your emotions no longer dictate your performance. Your process does. And when that shift happens, trading transforms. It stops being a battle of survival and becomes a rhythm of balance. In the end, resilience isn't built in the charts, it's built in silence, in those lonely moments between trades where you decide to stay patient instead of panicking. It's built in the habits that protect you, the routines that ground you, and the discipline that refuses to bend. So, the next time you hit a drawdown, remember, this is not the end of your story, it's the test before your next level. Breathe, refocus, and continue with purpose. The markets reward those who endure, not those who react. If this message resonated, hit like, subscribe to Therapy Trader, and share in the comments how you personally manage your mindset during tough trading periods. Stay disciplined, stay patient. And remember, consistency isn't built in good times, it's proven in drawdowns.